Put my phone down. I need to mute my phone. Actually, it goes off all the time.
Good reminder.
Yes, because as Angel reminded me, this is for posterity, so I can't talk about who's on Delray Morning Live tomorrow because this is going to be on our website and for people to view always.
Always.
Okay.
All right, people are being let into the room, so please be aware.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello, welcome everyone to the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce's weekly webinar. We're excited to welcome you back for the second part of our series, Maximizing Your Chamber Membership. Today's topic is interacting across the platforms. So I'd like to welcome our panelists today. We have Carolina Rush, Stephanie Immelman, and Jacqueline Ramirez here today. We're going to be talking about several things, which include leads groups, Delray Morning Live, webinars, and Sbdc. So at this time, I would like to welcome you all to interact with Carolina. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now.
Hi, everyone. This is Carolina, Membership Director at the Delray Beach Chamber. Today, I'm going to be talking about leads groups. If you are unfamiliar with what a leads group is, sorry, I went off screen there. Leads groups are a more specialized form of networking. They provide additional opportunities for members who are interested in a smaller, more focused, structured, and frequent form of networking based on referring business. Each group is industry specific, which means you will not have a competitor within the same group, and you can provide referrals among all of the members in the group. We have 7 different leads groups. They meet twice a month on different days and times, and that way we can find something that works for your schedule. I think Angel may have some questions for me, so I'm going to pass it back over to her.
Sorry about that, Carolina. My slides were not catching up with me. So I'm going to welcome you back to the screen really quick because we have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
All right. So leads groups, is there a fee associated with them?
There is a $100 fee for the year, but you do get to come as a guest twice to make sure it's the right fit for you, and you can try a couple of different groups.
And there's no fee attached to being able to attend those 2 trial meetings, correct?
No, that's as a guest, no commitment, just want to see if you like the group, and if not, we can always try a different group and then you can make your decision.
Great. So if I do these trial test runs, do they have to be consecutive, or if I can't make it 2 times in a row, can I kind of split them up a little bit?
Yes, you can definitely split them up, no problem.
Great. And then is that limited to 1 group, or can I try all of the groups out if I have an available spot?
First, we would probably go over the schedule to see which ones work best for you, and then we could pick 2 different groups for you to attend each one of them once.
Okay. And what do schedules for leads groups look like?
For example, we have some that meet on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month from 12 to 1. We have one that meets around 5:30 on Mondays, twice a month. We have some that meet early in the morning. Most of them actually meet early in the morning from 8 to 9 or 8:30 to 9:30 twice a month. And we have them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Oh, that's great. So there's a couple of different options available. So if there's a time frame that doesn't work for me, there's probably going to be one that does work.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So once I join the leads group, is there an attendance requirement? And if I don't meet that, will I be kicked out?
Well, we do emphasize the importance of attendance. We usually allow our members to miss a few meetings at the most, but attendance is extremely important just to make sure that you and everybody else in the group is getting the most out of your meetings.
Great. So who should I contact if I'm interested in joining a leads group?
So if you'd like to join a leads group, you could contact me directly. My email is carolina@delraybeach.com, and we can take a look at the schedule and see which one works best for you and make sure that there's a spot open in your category.
Wonderful. And then would you be able to help me maybe find the group that's best for me based on my needs?
Yes, you could tell me, first of all, who you'd like to network with, what businesses you'd like to get involved with, and then we would have to make sure that that category is available in that particular group.
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Carolina. We really appreciate that. To our viewers, if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat box. For some of you, you are involved in leads groups already, so you're aware of kind of the benefits of them. And for some of you, you may have never heard of them. So if that is the case, please feel free, as I mentioned, to put some questions down below. We have Carolina on until the end of this webinar to answer questions for you. And then at this time, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Stephanie. She is going to be talking about Delray Morning Live. It is something she has recently taken on, and she's doing a fabulous job with it.
Thank you. Well, I wanted to say a couple of things because I can't stop myself about leads groups as well. They've proven so popular, especially during the pandemic, that not only are all of our leads groups full, we had to start 2 new leads groups. So people are finding them very useful. And if you haven't joined a leads group, I think it's an excellent way to get more out of your chamber membership. I have a leads group. As a matter of fact, they have a very good accountant on that leads group, and they have calculated that they have sent each other in the realm of around $250,000 worth of business to each other within the past fiscal year. So it really does help you deepen your connections with your other chamber members. So let's talk about Delray Morning Live.
Yes, absolutely. Let me go ahead and get this up on the screen for you now.
So if you haven't seen Delray Morning Live, you're in for a treat. It's such a fun and lively show. It's hosted by Amanda Perna, formerly from Project Runway, if you've ever seen that, and Ryan Boylston. He's a city commissioner at the moment. He originally started this show years ago, and now that he's gifted it, I suppose, to the chamber, we took it over probably a year and a half ago, and we produce it every Wednesday morning on the chamber's Facebook page. So it's live from Facebook Live at 8:30 on Wednesday mornings. And the reason that we do it is to give it the community an idea of what are the happenings, what's going on in Delray Beach, what's happening at the chamber. It's a lively, fun, interactive show. We have 2 or 3 guests every single week. So it's your way of getting to know what's going on in town. We feature, obviously, our local businesses, our chamber businesses, but a lot of nonprofits as well. There are a lot of activities going on with the nonprofits and a lot of fundraisers that they're doing. And since the pandemic, they've been producing quite a few opportunities to learn, the nonprofits have. So you'll get to hear from them. And from time to time, we get to hear from our city leaders to find out what's going on. It's filmed either on location. We started doing on location again. Via Zoom. So from time to time, as you can see in this photo, I think Ryan's on top of the garage, and I think Amanda's at the bar at Death or Glory. So you never know where they're going to pop up or where you're going to find them. But it's always lively and fun to watch. And if you want to be featured on Delray Morning Live, it's a $150 fee. You'll need to contact me, Immelman at delraybeach.com, and to book a slot in. So we're booked up usually about a month in advance. So definitely contact me if you're interested in being on the show, and Ryan and Amanda will definitely roll out the red carpet for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Let's get out of my screen share. All right. Awesome. So guys, if you have any questions about Delray Morning Live, please go ahead and put them down below in the chat. I know that I have a couple of questions for you, and I've actually kind of hopped on the board of helping with Delray Morning Live, which is super fun. So I get to be a part of the production of it, and I'm learning so much about it. But for our viewers, Stephanie, you said $150. That is quite a bit. Is there any way to get that fee for Delray Morning Live waived?
Well, we always, if we're working with some of our partners that are either sponsoring an event or they're hosting an event at their location, we always have them on prior to the event so they can talk about one, the event that we're having, but two, their business. It's really important to promote their businesses. So definitely, if you're involved in the chamber, as many are as sponsors and people that are hosting events, yeah, you could definitely be on.
Wonderful. And that fee, it's kind of an important fee because a percentage of that is built in to do what exactly for the show?
I'm glad you asked. So the reason that we charge that is that when we have someone on, we like to be able to boost the Facebook views. So we'll spend $50 to go ahead and boost the post and boost the views. And when we do that, we have thousands of people watch it every week. So when we're on Facebook Live in the morning, there's a few dozen people on with us at the time, but by the end of the first hour, you'll have 150 views. And by the end of the week, it could be 4,000. So that's why we use the $50 to boost the views. We get quite a lot of viewership.
Wonderful. And so in the most simplest terms, what is boosting the views? What is that?
Oh, that's a fee to Facebook to make sure more people see it and then it goes into their feeds.
Awesome. Wonderful. And then, so you said a month in advance, you tend to get booked up. So how far in advance can I book my spot if I want to make sure that I'm getting maybe the week or maybe around a holiday that I really want to be on? How far in advance can I book?
You can book as far as you want in advance. We're booking out through June at the moment. So I have a few spaces taken up, even up until June. So, which is really great. It's a great problem to have that has proved really popular with the community, and the community is really engaging with the show. So if you have something you want to promote and be on Diary Morning Live, contact me as soon as you can. So it's simolman@diarybeach.com.
Wonderful. And so, of course, we don't want to rely on this, but if my date is booked up, do you have a waiting list that I can get on the chance that someone cancels?
Yeah, because that happens from time to time. So of course we do. We keep a waiting list.
Perfect. But don't rely on that, guys. Make sure you book out as soon as you can. And then I guess the last question, because I know that I've seen, basically logos on Delray Morning Live from time to time. Am I able to sponsor Delray Morning Live? Is my company able to sponsor them?
Yeah, so in addition to the appearance fee, you can sponsor it for a month, a quarter, or even a year, and we can have the ability to drop in commercials now as well. So that's something that if you wanted to be a sponsor and you'd be mentioned, in the intro and the outro every single week, that's also an opportunity. It's seen, like I said, by thousands of people every week, and they're local. So if you want to reach locals, that's the way to do it.
Wonderful. So does my sponsorship also get me a few spots on the show?
Absolutely. Of course it would.
I had to double check. I had to make sure.
Oh, good.
Wonderful. Well, again, guys, if you have any questions regarding Delray Morning Live, I know that it's super popular here in the community, so a lot of you know what that is already. But if you have any more specific questions, please put them down in the chat because we have Stephanie until the end. And then again, you can always reach her afterwards if you do have a question that you want to ask offline. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and share my screen again, going back and forth a little bit today. And now it's my turn. So some of you guys have seen me. I do the weekly webinars on Tuesday. We do them every Tuesday from 12:30 to 1:30. This is actually something that we had been planning to do for quite some time, and the pandemic kind of pushed us to do that because we really didn't have any other options as far as events went. So we really put time and effort into figuring out how we could make something virtual beneficial for the chamber. So these webinars, again, as I mentioned, are hosted every Tuesday from 12:30 to 1:30. I am your co-host. I hop on with you. And most of the presenters, they do use about 45 minutes. We have some that come on, and if their topic is pretty concise, they will do maybe 30 minutes. And then we always leave 15 minutes to answer questions from viewers at the end. So I'll kind of act as your dialogue partner. I'll read them to you. That way it's not you talking to the screen the whole time. And just so you guys know, our webinars, I think I left this out in the beginning, they're live, they're recorded, and they're uploaded to the Chamber's website, to Facebook, and to YouTube. You can also access our files. We'll give it to you afterwards, so you can share it to your social media platforms. We just ask that you tag at the Delray Beach Chamber, of course, but we want you to have that so that way you can share it with anybody who might be interested in watching. We always encourage people to check out our webinars tab on our website because we have basically every webinar that we've done since we started. So there is something for everybody on there if you're looking to get a little bit more knowledge. So if you're wondering how you can book a webinar with me, there's a couple of things that I need from you, and we have them listed here on the screen. So I need a confirmation of a date from you, your title of the presentation, a brief description topic, your bio if you'd like, and 3 to 4 questions that you'd like to be asked, because this helps us jumpstart the questions during the presentation. So you might wonder why I need all of this. Well, the webinars are pretty popular, so we like to book them out as far in advance as we can. So if you have a date that you want in mind, if it is available, we will give it to you. If you need a couple of dates to compare, when you're interested, I will go ahead and send those over to you. But the thing about the webinars is that they are first come, first serve. So I may send you 4 dates, but if you take a week to get back to me, there is a chance that somebody else may have swooped in for the date. However, we will make sure that you get a date. At this time, the webinars are free, which is why they're pretty popular. So we do encourage you to reach out as soon as you know when you want to host one. So who's going to see the webinars? Viewership via the Zoom platform receives 10 to 40 live. We did get a few more at the beginning of the pandemic, but of course now everybody is kind of going back to work, and we don't have as many people available to watch it live. That being said, it is live on Facebook, which gets hundreds of views. I've even seen it go up into the thousands within a week for some of the presentations. And of course, it lives in perpetuity on YouTube and on the Chamber's website. And we encourage you, if you do want a large audience, to share it with your friends, to share it with your colleagues, because we do share it on our social media platforms and we do share it in our emails, but there is no harm in sharing the link with somebody that you think might be interested, because a live viewership is always a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more interactive. So regarding who views it, because I do get this question a lot, we cannot guarantee a specific member profile. However, you can kind of guess that if it revolves around dermatology, or if it revolves around construction, you're going to get people that are interested in that topic. But if you want people outside of that, we do encourage you to share before it's coming up, because that's who's going to come in and watch it. And then of course, it's advertised to our chamber members, which is mostly small business. So if you're interested, please reach out to me, contact me, angelicav@delraybeach.com. And again, you can always check out the webinars at the Chamber website underneath the webinars tabs. And I'm going to invite Stephanie back because I'm sure she has a couple of questions for me.
I have questions for you all the time, as you know. So we mentioned that on Dairy Morning Live that we use some of the money for the fee to boost it. Are you able to do the same thing with the webinars?
So we can. So as I mentioned before, the webinars are currently free, but if you are interested in having them boosted, we do charge a $50 fee, and we can go ahead and push that for you.
And like I was also saying on Dairy Morning Live, we're booking like a month out. How far out are you booked right now?
So I'm currently booked out until May. And yes, I know. It feels like it's
We're doing this in February, by the way. So I mean, it does get booked.
It feels like it's not that far out, but then I look and I'm like, oh, that's several months time. So if you are interested, please reach out to me. I send you all of the details that you need, so that way you're kind of aware of what's expected from you. So yeah, if you're interested, please reach out.
Well, how sometimes people make it interesting. Can they do like a raffle off items or services or something?
Yes, absolutely. So if you want people to tune in, what's the best way to do that? Give something away. You can raffle an item. You can give a complimentary ticket away. I mean, if you're living wild, you can also give everybody who tunes in live something to really encourage that live audience, because as I mentioned before, that's always really fun to interact with.
I gotcha. But it's true, because I like the way you said that it lives in perpetuity on our website and all of our social media platforms. And that's why when we make the webinars or do Delray Morning Live, your name and your business will be in front of people for a long time to come. It's not just for that hour of that day. People will be able to see it continually. So there's no reason not to participate in your next level of chamber membership.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So if anybody has any questions, please go ahead and type them down below. Maybe I'll make Stephanie ask me them. Maybe I'll answer them myself. But at this time, we are going to turn it over to kind of the star of the show, somebody that people don't really realize is in our office, and that is Jacqueline Ramirez from the Sbdc.
Well, thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
can hear you
Okay.
perfect.
Good. I'm going to share my screen in a minute, but first I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, including Stephanie and Angel, for making my my ability to be in the office there with you so wonderful. It's been a really good experience for the last year. And welcome to all of you who are new members. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because there's a bit of information that I want to make sure all of you have. And can you see my screen okay, Angel?
Yes, we can see it perfect.
Okay, so it fills the screen. The first, it should say programs and services. Are we correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, good. First of all, the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce and the CRA are both really wonderful partners to us. The CRA asked us to join and Delray Beach in putting a consultant here and embed the consultant because of the percentage of small businesses in your city. And they realized that small businesses need some special touch. Actually, the Sbdc, as we know it, was started almost 45 years ago, and a lot of people aren't aware that it's been around for so long. It started in California. We had two professors that were on the board, the advisory board of the SBA, and as they were working for small businesses there in their area, they discovered that small businesses were lacking one thing, and that was the funding to pay for consultants to help them through their growth phases. So in a partnership with the SBA, they started the Sbdc. That was 45 years ago. Just a few years after that, Florida was one of the first of 5 states to actually bring the Sbdc to their small business community. If you see on what I'm showing you now is the state of Florida. And if you look down to the right-hand corner, of course, that's FAU. FAU is our host partner. Every Sbdc team has a university that partners with them to provide them a place to work and to work with their clients, meet with their clients. And ours is FAU, which is wonderful because we're also very closely related to their tech runway operation. You'll see that there are 6 areas that are 6 categories to the work that we do. Access to capital, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. Market growth, international trade. When you're ready to send your services or products overseas, we can help you find where that should be. Government contracting, if you'd like to be able to provide your services to the federal government. We also work with state and local governments as well. And business continuity, what do you do when things go wrong? Which we've had a really good example of that with COVID-19. We had to, Sbdc had to step in as a primary connector for these small businesses. But also when you have hurricanes, we're the primary emergency response for small businesses in the state of Florida. And we work in partnership with FEMA. And then any work that needs to be done around protecting your business from scams, from any other sort of intrusions, we have consultants that can help you with that. And then strategic planning, all the way from what's the idea you want to start with and how do we do that, all the way up to when you're going to actually sell your company because it's time to retire and move on. Or if you're planning on selling the company because you just want to go larger, okay? I'm going to show you a list of services that we do within those categories, but what I want you to think about is the business life cycle. When you think about where you are within this cycle, that's going to determine to a great degree what sort of services you're going to be wanting from us and we're going to be recommending. So if you're pre-venture, and most of you on this call are going to be already started, but pre-venture is when somebody has an idea for a business, they need to make sure that it's the right idea and they get a really good start. So we work with establishing the feasibility of the business and the idea, putting together the research you might need, and actually helping you do a plan. So you have no sales, no employees, and you have no funding, and you can start with us and we can figure all that out. If you're emerging, it means you're a new business, but less than 3 years old. If you're in growth, it means you're 3 years with less than 5 employees. and less than 500,000 in annual sales revenue. And you hold a promise and desire that 1 to 3 years, that's the really tentative time for business. And we put a lot of focus into that. If you can make it past 3 years, you've gone into growth. You're on your way, you hold promise and a desire to grow, and there's so much more we can do. And then establish are those 3 plus, more than 5 employees, 500,000 to $50 million in revenue, and you have significant capacity. So now you're looking at a different type of funding. You may be looking at loans to expand your operation. You could be looking at a number of things. So we're going to go to the next slide and give you more clarity on that. So by life cycle, if you look to the right on pre-venture, concept analysis, business mapping, business formation, structure, and so on. We can even register your business for you. Emerging, then you're going to start going into some more advanced research, sales growth, capital access. You may need some funding to get going. And if you're able to show a good track record, that's a possibility. Business planning, forecasting, cash flow management, how to make sure that you already have the cash on hand you need going forward. And then any business continuation. If you look at growth of the establishment, you're adding a few things. If you look at the bottom, export planning, government contracting, even business valuation, which is a new service that we're launching on a webinar next week. So if you're interested in that, please go to our website. Now, the next thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about is how we work with you. We first educate, and I put on a financial example, finding out or letting you know about the different options that exist as far as funding. And you'll see some up there. Because of our time, I'm not going to walk through each one of them. We'll then guide you. You get a feel for your business and what funding might be available that you're eligible for, so that we're clear. You're not shooting in the dark. We help you identify those appropriate funding institutions and contacts. We'll come up with 2 or 3 that have agreed with us that they're interested in your case. And then what we'll do is actually put you together with them. But we don't stop. We continue to facilitate that connection, that relationship, and then we become a mentor to you. So we have clients who've been with us for a long time. We have a orthodontist that we work with on a constant basis every year. The consultant assigned to them checks in with them to make sure that their equipment's good. He's taken several SBA loans to update his equipment, but it's been an ongoing relationship, for a good example of relationship for the last several years. Some tips, and we can talk more depending on your questions, but one is if you have a small business, find a mentor. It could be us, anybody. I just need for you to find a mentor that can kind of hear you out when things start getting a little rough and congratulate you when things are going well. Participate in city, county government like you're doing now, participating with the chamber, check in on the commission meetings, get to know who your representatives are. That's really important. Keep your financial information organized and digitized. One of the problems we've had over the COVID time are businesses that have been around for a while, but have never digitized their information or don't have it organized. If you digitize it, the minute a grant comes out or an opening for some sort of funding, you've got it ready to go. And oftentimes that can make a big difference in whether or not you get the funding. Learn about the key measures in your industry. We can do that research for you so you know kind of how you sit with your competitors. Maintain a credit score of 680 plus because that tends to be what the SBA looks for when they're looking at providing a loan. And get to know your financial institutions, which of course there's a number of wonderful contacts in the city of Delray. So that's just some quick tips. I know there should be some questions, but let me suggest something. In this slide up to the right-hand corner, up in the right-hand corner is a QR code. If you take a picture of that on your phone, it will take you into an application process immediately within seconds, which is, I think, kind of cool. We just got this made. That puts you into register. Once you're registered, you'll be assigned a consultant, and that consultant will then work with you to determine your priorities and bring in other consultants on the team. We have about 15 consultants that have specialties across the board. They've worked for large organizations, they've worked for small ones. If you work with me here in Delray, I will pull them in as you need them. We work together as a team. So that is it. And I'd like to see if there are any questions.
All right, wonderful. We're going to have to make sure that we get that QR code shared on our website. That is really, really neat that you guys have that. That's an amazing resource for our small businesses. So if you guys have any questions for Jacqueline, please go ahead and type them down below. I know that I've got a couple here, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So how early can you access your services, and do I have to meet certain requirements?
No, as soon as you understand that you want to start a business, you go in and register, and we start thinking through those ideas with you and doing your research. Other than that, it's just the small business category, and we work with you from where you are.
And is there a cost for these consultations or for these meetings?
There are no costs for the consulting. The only fees you might have is if, for example, in international trade, Enterprise Florida actually provides a grant. So it would typically cost $5,000. They provide a $4,500 grant. Our client pays the $500. There might be an assessment that you want. There might be a small charge. But in any case, any services we have that are material and that are have a price, we typically are able to negotiate something very different from what you would find out in the public.
Wow, that's great. And then, so speaking of finances, how do I find grants for my businesses or business?
Yeah, if you you can again connect with us, and we keep an eye on all the grants that are out there. We have connections with the city, with the state, with the county, and we're tracking all of that. You can at the same time make sure that you're on the sites on Delray, City of Delray, making sure that you're watching both on the CRA site and the city site for announcements of grants. And you'll see that in Palm Beach on the county state level as well. But we, because of our connection with these entities, we have really good relationships, and we kind of get the heads up, so we can help you too.
That's great. And then if I also kind of want to just monitor it on my end, is there a suggestion of how many times to maybe check in? Is it once a week? Should I be doing it as much as once a day? Do you have a suggestion for how often to check in?
Check in with a consultant, your consultant, or?
No, so if I'm monitoring them through the websites on my own, is it like?
Oh, as far as funding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go on at least once a week, and you can always get a feed from a number of the websites that will highlight or alert you when there's something new coming.
Great. Okay, so in regards to Sba COVID programs, what should I do? I mean, I need some help.
Sba COVID, you have the PPP and the EIDL, and there are, if you go to our website, you can link into the updates from the SBA. And there's a very easy grid to follow as far as what happens under the PPP versus EIDL, first time, second time draw on the PPP. You can also look at eligibility and so on. I'd be happy to send you that. If you need somebody to work with you to help you get through that process, again, just let us know.
Wow, that's really great to know that you guys are there. That process can be overwhelming.
Yeah, it can.
So everything today is social. Everything today, you got to have a good marketing team behind you. Are you guys able to help with marketing?
Yes, we are. We actually have actually three. We have one that is a PR, has a PR background. He worked for AT&T and for many years and did their PR. And then we have an individual that was on the branding team for Apple. Jasmine has a really good eye for branding consistency and how that relates both to your social websites or your social media. As well as just a product or even how you communicate about your brand. And then we have a third person, Diana, who is a social media expert. So she actually runs the social media company herself, and she came on during COVID as a contractor with us to help with social media.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really great to know. And then I guess the maybe one of the bigger questions people might have is, how can you help with financials?
First, we help you understand what you have. Okay. What's currently going on in your business regarding your financials? Where's the money going? We do have clients, small businesses that really don't know. They're so busy running their company. They're so busy working with their customers. They're not quite sure why the funds aren't looking as clean as they should. So we can do that. We have a CPA on staff that can answer some basic questions. And we have several capital access financial experts. We also help you look for a plan, or rather create a plan for your financials, forecasting, planning out your growth. And we have the business valuation, where we actually give you a clear picture on what your company's valued at. Now, what that does is actually help you understand the health of the organization. And you may not want it to sell the company. You may want it just to understand where the bugs are. And we can certainly do that. And that's at no cost to you.
Wonderful. And then I'm sure it kind of depends on the business and just maybe what's going on in general, but is there maybe like a typical timeline for where a business can get back on track if they were maybe not on track before?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's going to be different according to every business,
Right.
because it depends on the magnitude of the problem. But all along the way, what we're doing is giving you options. If you want to move quickly, if you want to take the time, you may be looking for a merger with another like company. You may be looking to really change staff. There may be an issue around either the leadership team or the sales team that we can help with. So I can't really give you a timeline unless I know the company.
Timeline, but it does make sense.
Nice try.
It depends on the business. All right. So I guess my last question is, because I know you guys, of course, are housed here in the chamber office, and prior to COVID, people could come in and meet with you one-on-one. I saw them go back all the time to your office.
Yeah.
What is that looking like right now? What is the options?
Right now, we work virtually via webinar, phone, whatever works for the client. We're not taking full-time in-house meetings yet, just to protect the client and protect our staff and our team. But we'll be going into the office more often within the next couple of weeks, and we will be able to take some meetings there. It's probably going to be, you're going to have to wear a mask, or we can go out and take a walk around the courtyard or around Del Rey and talk, something like that. But we're getting back to it pretty soon.
Wonderful. We look forward to having you back in the office. I look forward to you getting your plant back. Guys, Jacqueline, when she left for a little while, she took her plant with her, and I don't know why I was so affected, but I was.
You know what? It's 3 times as big.
So my heart.
So it'll be coming back in, probably along with my dog.
Oh, wonderful.
Has a hard time with me leaving the house now.
My dog.
I wanted to chime in, if you have a second, about the Sbdc, because it's such an amazing opportunity. So I've worked for big corporations, and I've run my own business, a couple of my own businesses. And as an entrepreneur, a business owner, you have to be an expert at everything. You have to be a CFO, you have to be a chief marketing officer, you have to run your business. It's so hard to do. But if you just reach out to the Sbdc, they have people that can advise you and help you with these things, and it costs nothing to you, because Jackie always says it's prepaid via your taxes. So it's brilliant. There's no reason why any business, at what level they are, but especially if you're 1 to 3 years old, to reach out to the Sbdc and get counseling. That's prepaid. But it's a brilliant idea, and there's no reason why anyone shouldn't do it. So I just had to put that in there for you. And we're so lucky to have this resource in Delray Beach, in the center of Delray, at the Chamber's offices. And that's thanks to the grant that we get from the CRA. So take advantage of it. There's no reason not to.
Absolutely.
That's it from me.
Thank you very much.
That's fine. Actually, thank you for popping back on screen. I'd like to welcome all of our panelists who joined us today. Thank you so much for speaking on your topic. As some of you may know, we are all staff here at the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce. Jacqueline is from the Sbdc, but she's very near to our heart as well. She's just like staff to us. So please know that you can reach out to us with any questions that you might have. These webinars are recorded. They're posted to Facebook, to YouTube, and to the Chamber website as well underneath the webinars tab. So we thank you for joining us, and we would love to invite you back for our next webinar. It's going to be from our mouths to theirs, get them talking about you. So please keep an eye out for that, and we hope to see you then. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.